Hey everyone, Mr. Justin here at the Hernando County Public Library System, and thank you so much for joining us for another science video. We're going to have fun today because we are going to show kind of how a couple different vegetables use water to feed themselves and to spread nutrients, but we're also going to turn them fun colors, and we're going to learn about something called capillary action through capillaries, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So what we need for this is you need a glass with water, food coloring, and either celery, lettuce, maybe even cabbage, which works well, but I had trouble peeling this cabbage off, so we probably won't be using that today. But the celery works really well, and so does the lettuce, and these are hearts of romaine. And what we're going to do first is I'm going to take the food coloring, and in my testing, I noticed that blue worked pretty well, but red was my favorite, and you'll see that when I show you our example. So we're going to put some red in the food coloring. We'll make sure we put quite a bit in there, because what we want is all the water to be a nice color of red. And then we are going to stir to make sure that the color is spread throughout all the water. Perfect. And then I'm going to use one of these cups for celery and one of these cups for the lettuce. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my celery right here. And what I want with this is I want one that has kind of the nice leafy stem. So I'm going to go ahead and tear this one off. You can even cut it to make it a little even if you want. But look at all the stem on that one. That looks like it's going to be nice and good. And I'm going to put it right here into the cup. And then I'm going to actually just set it aside. Every hour or two, you can take a look at the celery to see if you notice any differences, to see if you see anything happening. And I'll show you what happens at around the 24-hour mark in just a minute after we do our other cup, which is going to be the lettuce. So I've got my little hearts of romaine right here. And I'm going to find one that I like. Let's go with this one because these are a little bigger. And I'm going to snap that off, and it's a little torn. I'm being very particular about my lettuce today, I think. All right, let's do that. And I'm going to put that right in there also. And again, you are going to once you have it in the water, you're just going to put it to the side. You can go ahead and observe it and see if you notice any changes every hour or two. But definitely in 24 hours, look and see if you see any changes. And then every few hours afterwards, see what has happened to your celery and to your lettuce. Now, this is what happened when I did my experiment earlier this week. This is the celery right here. You can see it's wilting a little bit, but that's because it's not getting quite the nutrients it needs. But you can also see that it has kind of turned red, that the leaves and the stems are turning a red color. And this is the lettuce that I had also. And you can see that this also is turning red, and you can see in the veins right there are also all kind of a red tint and a red hue. And if I were to leave this in the water a little longer, you might even get more of that color changing action going on with the celery and the lettuce. So it's pretty cool. So even though these are nice and green right now, if I were to leave them in longer and check in them in a few hours or the next day, they're going to look a lot like this. Like I said, you can use any color of food coloring. The red worked the best for me. Blue is pretty good too. Green was kind of funny because it's green already, so I didn't notice much of a difference. And I think yellow would be the same. So red is good for this, and that's what we do. So how did we get the celery and the lettuce? And you can use cabbage also. The cabbage works pretty well. How do we get them to change colors to become the color of the food coloring? Well, what happens is that when the plants in nature, they actually will use their roots through a process called transpiration, and they will absorb the water, and then the water kind of goes through the plant, through the capillaries, which are almost like little hollow straws, through something called capillary action, bringing it up and spreading it through the nutrients in the water through the entire plant. Well, now that we have just our water right here, and of course they need water in order to stay healthy, so they don't wilt and they don't dry out, and that's just what the waters need, that water in order, or the plants need that water in order to continue being healthy and to live. Well, what we did here is we used the food coloring, And the colored water went up through the capillaries, through the capillary action, where it kind of went up through the plant, spread all the way out. And just like with the nutrients in the water molecules, the food dye, the food coloring, spread throughout that too, which is what is causing the colors to change in both our lettuce and our celery. And if we use the cabbage also. And so it's kind of cool to watch the colors of these plants change as the capillary action is sending the food colored water throughout all the plants, changing them that color. So it is kind of neat to watch that capillary action. And it's not going to happen immediately, obviously, but if you go back every couple hours and you observe, you're watching what's happening, noting any changes that's happening. Over time, you'll notice that you are going to see the changes in your vegetables. Well, I hope you enjoyed this experiment. I had a lot of fun today. And then once you have your extra celery, you can go ahead and have that for a snack. Celery is delicious. Just make sure you wash it before you eat it, of course, if you buy it from the store. And so I hope you all enjoyed our experiment on capillary action. Make sure you press the like and subscribe button if you want to see when we post new videos every week. And we will be back next week with another experiment. We'll see you later. Bye.